Am I the asshole for telling my son's father, never mind, and that he isn't meeting his kid? My son is 12 and his father has never met him. We had gone to court when my son was like 1-ish and he, at that point, said he wasn't ready to be a father and ultimately wanted nothing to do with our child. I was awarded visitation at my own discretion and child support. Well, last year he had reached out completely random on Facebook and said he was ready to meet our kid and said that he turned his life around and regrets every single day of not being here. At this point he spoke to our son, but in the end my son decided he wasn't ready to meet him yet. Not a big deal, really. I mean, his father was pissed and tried blaming me at first but later dropped it and we hadn't heard from him since. Well, he just reached out again about a week and a half ago and at this point my son was ready to meet him. We made a plan and everything was great. He was being super attentive and checking in every single day. He appeared to be really involved and everything was truly great. However, he calls me last night and I don't know if he was drinking or what was up with the sudden fucking attitude, but he was being nasty and telling me, "I will take that fucking boy from you if you do shit that I don't agree with." He was accusing me of spending the child support money on myself despite me giving him no reason to think this. I told him to stop speaking to me like that and he said it a few more times before I finally snapped and said, "You know what, never mind. I'm not bringing my son to meet you when you're telling me you're taking him from me. You're not meeting him," and hung up. I didn't realize my son heard the whole thing. He was standing on the other side of the door and I was unaware. He is obviously on my side but definitely a bit bummed and just keeps saying he can't believe his dad had the audacity to treat me like that and kept saying, "Mom, I want you to know that I would always choose you even if he brought you to court," and it was incredibly sad. I reached out to a friend today because this is seriously mentally destroying me because I know deep down my son still wants to meet him and my friend basically told me that I was a fucking asshole and I had no right to keep my kid from him. Went on to say, "So what if he fucking takes him? The cops would find him and charge him with kidnapping and then your son would know what he's dealing with, but until then stop depriving your son." Am I the asshole? What is wrong with your friend? This man is clearly unstable, and just made a credible threat to kidnap your child. The cops would find him and charge him with kidnapping, like. Has your friend met any police? It could take days, weeks to find him. What if he was hiding? What if he left town? Your friend is saying it's okay to gamble your son's safety and if he gets abducted it'll be fine. Who cares about the mental harm that'll inflict on him, or the physical harm an unstable man could do to him? Not the asshole times infinity. Your friend needs to stop thinking of human lives like objects. Not the asshole. Your friend is an idiot who doesn't know what she's talking about. My cousins got kidnapped by their father and he took them out of the country until he got sick of them. The police did absolutely nothing. You did the right thing and you should probably dump that friend. Not the asshole. Your friend is a shitty friend. Am I the asshole for not giving up my plane seat so a family could be all together? So I traveled home today from Greece. The flight was roughly 10 hours and around this time of year it's extremely hectic. I booked my ticket specifically to be closer to the front of the plane so I can be closer to the gate when it's time to get out. I personally hate traveling so I spent a bit more money to be closer. When I got on the plane, a family of 4 approached me and asked if I could switch spots. Normally I'd be okay with that, but switching spots would mean moving back 20 rows down, which leaves me at an inconvenience and I would not be getting my money's worth. I rejected and said that I would like to keep my seat. The woman said that I was being an asshole and I should just give up my seat so she could sit with her husband and kids, ouch, right in front of her kids too. I said, "Respectfully, ma'am, your travel issues are not my problem. I am keeping the seat I paid for." She ended up making a scene and basically said, "Wow, look at this asshole who can't even move seats so a family could sit all together." I said, "Maybe you should have booked ahead of time, or spent more money on tickets so you all could sit together. This is not my issue. Grow up and get over it. I am not moving seats." End of story. I sat down, her husband apologized for me for her behavior and said that, she hates traveling, but giving her the seat would have made things easier in the end. So, am I the asshole for not giving up my seat? Not the asshole. If it was really about sitting together, why didn't they ask the people 20 rows back if they'd like the better seats up front? They'd still all be together. Not the asshole. I like how her husband slipped in that it would have just been easier to give up the seat in the end. Like you care. Not the asshole. People need to learn to take the first no graciously. They asked. You refused. That should be the end of it. Anytime someone continues to try to convince you why their needs are more important and flip the script to make you out to be an asshole for not immediately appeasing their request, they automatically become the A. No other passenger has the right to demand you swap seats. Even the flight attendants don't do it until two people have the same seat number or there's an actual safety issue. Am I the asshole for telling my cousin she ate meat? I, 22F, have a cousin, 21F, Paige. She's vegan. I love her, she's always been like a sister to me. On my dad's side I have another cousin, 26M, Dave. He's a really nice person too, but I didn't really grow up to be with him as he is older and his family lives far away from us. Well, 2 days ago, we were at this dinner my aunt, Dave's mom, hosted. It was a dinner to celebrate Dave's engagement. Dave's fiancée Laura insisted on cooking. Apparently, she is very well known for her food and everyone in my family who's tasted her food loves it. I personally never did and I was open to it as I love trying new stuff. While Laura was cooking, Paige approached her to remind her that she is vegan. She took the time to do it before Laura started dinner. Fast forward to dinner. I noticed some meat in it. Paige asked about it, which Laura responded and said she used fake meat for Paige. She didn't doubt Laura started to eat. I will admit I found it quite odd that Laura had fake meat or that my aunt would have any since they're both carnivorous. After dinner, almost everyone was outside but 3 of us including Laura. I asked her if she really used fake meat for Paige and said, hell no, if she's vegan she gotta bring her own food, while laughing. I was shocked and in disbelief. I went outside, pulled Paige aside and told her. I just couldn't keep it for myself and I felt too bad for Paige. I saw the anger rising up her face while she got up and screamed at Laura inside the house. What she didn't know is that everyone else could hear. It ended up with Laura being completely embarrassed and Paige leaving the house. Laura went up to me screaming that I shouldn't have told her and that everyone was having a great time until I opened up my mouth. Everyone at the dinner are taking her side saying I shouldn't have said anything and that it wasn't my business. They all said that Laura was new to the family and that it was wrong of me to embarrass her like that. I don't know what to do. All of them are saying I did something wrong and that it could have just been a one-time and that Paige would have never noticed. She messaged me earlier saying thank you for telling her. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Laura was 1000% the asshole for saying it was fake meat when it wasn't. She could have just told the truth and maybe Paige could have eaten around it. Serving meat to a person who is vegan without them knowing is truly messed up. Not the asshole. Laura was pretty malicious here and wanted to lie about it because, haha, vegans are fun to make fun of. I am not a vegan myself, but we need to respect other people's dietary choices and restrictions. If we want to take it a step further, if your cousin had been vegan for a long enough time her digestive system would be sensitive to meat and she may not be able to digest it without getting sick since her body is no longer used to it. Effectively the fiancé would be fine giving someone food poisoning because everyone else is having a good time. Am I the asshole for embarrassing a bride at her wedding? I, 34M, am not fond of my brother's wife, 23F. Even before the wedding planning started, the overall vibe was just weird. She's very demanding of my little brother. She tried to insert herself into our family very quickly. They were only together for 8 months before they got engaged. I do my best to play nice for my brother's sake. I agreed to be one of his best men, but expressed my concerns to him both before and after I accepted. Their wedding was today. It was a very pretty ceremony and I made it through without much incident. My husband and our 6-month-old were there as guests and I was looking forward to spending time with them following the ceremony. Neither myself nor my husband were drinking more than 1 glass of champagne since our son was there, but there was an open bar. My brother's wife was already at least tipsy by the time the first dances picked up. After all the usual dances, she came over to where my husband and I were seated and held out her arms for our son. She said she wanted to have a first dance with him. It was a cute gesture, but I smiled and politely declined. She and I don't have much of a relationship outside of your usual pleasantries, and I don't feel comfortable with her holding my son. She tried again, and my husband stepped in and told her a stern no since she didn't accept the first one. She kind of laughed things off and things went on without incident after that. The event wrapped up about an hour ago and I have since received some pretty scathing texts from my brother saying that I totally embarrassed his wife at her wedding and that she's very upset. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. A baby isn't a prop to be passed around. Nope, not the asshole. Drinking and babies not a good combo. Especially because you said she was already tipsy. Spinning around the dance floor with a wiggly 6-month-old spells disaster. You also aren't required to let anyone hold your baby if you're not comfortable with it. No matter how much of a tantrum they throw after the fact. Tipsy plus probably wearing high heels plus possibly in a dress that obstructs movement or creates a tripping hazard equals no effing way you're holding my baby. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your new wife was intoxicated. Please tell me why you feel her feelings are more important than my child's safety.